it's recording. Thank you. Now it works. Yes. So recapping from last time, that needs are the roots of empathic communication, or the core of empathic communication. And we were also talking about that needs are universal, which means that all human beings on this planet are sharing same needs. Like for example, need for friendship, need for closeness, need for belonging, need for inspiration, etc. Needs are universal, and behind every action that people take in this world are actually needs. Needs are like this motivation or power that is pushing us to take some actions, or like this divine energy flowing through us. And needs are, we also shortly mentioned last time that connection, that the goal of empathic communication is to create connection which is having such a quality that allows voluntary giving from the heart to flow freely. And the goal of empathic communication is not to manipulate others to do what we want them to do, or whatever, to push our agenda through. Therefore, it's very important that we will become aware actually what is our intention when we are using this method or this tool. And I also want to stress that empathic communication is only tool, only in this regard that when I started to practice and study it, I became so much fascinated and absorbed in it that I was trying to use it in every situation at every moment in my life. And one friend gave me feedback that you are seeing our relationship to death. And how come? I was surprised. I'm trying just to listen empathically. How come? But the thing is that we have all, most likely in our lives, relationships where this connection is already flowing freely, where we feel we are connected. We are like operating on the same wavelengths. There is trust in our relationships. There is easy way to understand each other. And in these cases, we don't need to grab this tool, empathic communication. We just continue as we are with our habitual, usual way of talking and listening and whatever. But we need this tool, or this tool can be very helpful when things go wrong, when our relationships go sour, when we feel either that we are not understood in a way we would like to be understood, or we see that we are not actually understanding other persons, because not always the words are actually carrying all the meaning. So in this, or there is conflict, for example, in these situations, it's very useful to grab this tool called empathic communication in order to restore or create the connection, or in order to transform the conflict into connection. And I really love this method, and all glories to Bir Krishna Maharaj, who has adopted this from actually method which is called nonviolent communication, developed by Marshall Rosenberg in early 60s. And I also mentioned that I have been myself trained by Marshall Rosenberg and his wonderful trainers. So my gratitude to them also. Everything that I share is due to Bir Krishna Maharaj's and Marshall Rosenberg and his trainers' mercy. Yes, and we talked about feelings, but maybe before going to the feelings, I would like to show one more characteristic of the needs. Because we are living in the dualistic world, therefore it's helpful for us to understand things when we are looking like in the opposites, like what are needs and what needs are not. So in each step of empathic communication, there are key differentiations. And we, in order to be sure that we are on the proper track, it's good to know the opposite one, so we know what to avoid. And in this step about needs, the key differentiation is to distinguish needs from strategies. Strategies means that the way how we choose to meet the needs. And how do we distinguish? What does it mean? How do we recognize whether it's strategy or whether it's need? So let me see, I share the screen so that, okay, here it is. We can have a little visual here. Yeah, we call it, can you all see the shared screen? Yeah. So we call it that needs, one of needs characteristics is that needs are abstract. And what is abstract means? Abstract meaning is very abstract, right? That means that needs are not connected to any person, neither to any location, action, time, or object. For example, if I recognize that I have need for, let's say, for love or close relationship or connection, then if I think or say that I have need for connection with you, then is it need or strategy? Yes, I saw
It's a strategy.
It's a strategy because it is connection to specific person, right? The need is a pure energy of connection, right? I have need for connection. And my favorite way to connect may be a certain person or certain persons. But if I'm tying my need to specific person, location, action, time, or object, then I'm giving away my power to choose. Because Krishna has given to every living soul freedom of choice, right? And if I'm tying my need to some particular person, location, action, time, or object, I'm giving away my power to choose how to take care of my need. And maybe this my favorite person is not available at the moment for connection because he or she may have another needs to take care of. And then if I get stuck there, that my need for connection gets met only with help of this person, then I'm helpless. Because if this person says no, I don't have any power to take care of my needs, right? Does it make sense? Any questions, comments about that point?
So most of the time we build our strategies rather than focusing on our needs, because is it how the relationship, because you just mentioned that this world is so full of duality. So the need is also understood as strategy when we deal with people. Yeah. I like him, I don't like him. Yeah. Am I understanding correctly? Being judgmental about people?
Yeah, exactly. We are mixing up in our daily life. It's our habit to mix up needs with strategies, right? For example, very common need mixed with strategies is we need money, right? We hear it all the time, and we maybe also speak ourselves that I need money or I need more money. Or so is money need or strategy?
Strategy.
It's strategy.
Money is need, but we make strategies to get money.
Okay. That's also a good point. But what helps us to distinguish whether it's strategy? Because sometimes it's not easy to make distinguish. So you said that money is need, for example, right? Then we can ask the question, does every person in the world need money? There are still persons living in tribes or places who don't have money as a convenient need convenient strategy to meet needs. So money is still rather strategy, right? What will happen with when money disappears from the world, right? Crisis comes. We still continue exist and find other ways to meet my needs, like barter dealings or whatever, right? So money is so convenient for most of the people in the world in this current age that we really often mix it up with the need. Yes, Suchandra Prabhu, please.
Mataji.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, just a little bit, I'm confused about the needs and strategy. Yeah, when you talk about the money, I think it is need. It is strategy, because we don't need money for something else. We want to do something with the money. So money is a strategy. But when we need the close relationship with someone, I'm thinking that that is need. That is my personal need to make a close relationship with somebody. So that can be a strategy. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Yes, as I understand it, the need for close relationship is basic need. It's very big need, and there are even researchers nowadays that when babies don't get enough, this close relationship, babies can even die. So the need for close relationships is important need. But then how we choose to take care of that need, this becomes a strategy, right? Like, let's see, I have need for close relationship, and my favorite ways to meet this need is, for example, with my good husband, and I also have a few good lady friends with whom I feel very heart connected and intimate in this sense. Intimate doesn't mean only physically intimate, like between husband and wife, but much more deep intimacy can be really in heart-to-heart connection without any physical part involved. So I can see that maybe my favorite way to meet this need for close relationship is really with my husband too. We are having deep talks with my good husband. He's so good at taking women's or wife's tears. So he's so sensitive to notice when something is wrong with me, and he just takes time and lets me cry on his shoulder and share and really each other help to dig into needs and so on. But what if he is not available and I still have a need for this close relationship? Then if I'm getting allured to that my need for close relationship can be met only by this one person, I'm helpless in these times when this person is not available in whatever reasons, right? But if I'm aware that the needs are not actually tied to any specific strategy, then it gives me power to keep searching, and not even to keep searching, but when we are really connecting to the needs on the deep level, not only intellectually, like Radha Padma Mataji mentioned, your first try with your husband and daughter was, I understood, more like intellectual level. And that doesn't really connect us. It's helpful in first stages, but it doesn't create this satisfying connection with ourselves and others. And when we are deeply really connecting to our needs beyond this intellectual level, it creates certain relief in our system, and it opens up creativity to find different ways to take care of our needs. It's really like we are tapping really into this Krishna's divine energy, and it opens up this abundance of strategies that we are having in this material world also, how to take care of our needs. Does that make sense, Chandra Prabhu?
Yeah, yeah, correct. You are correct. You have explained very nicely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for question. Very nice question. Any other questions, comments in this regards? And I also mentioned that all these key points from the session, I will collect together afterwards and send you out as a summary or overview of the session. And I'm also planning to put together a little simple manual that you will get after our 6 sessions are over, so you can review these important moments again and again when you want to. All right, so I guess we are. Yes, please.
So, I'm so sorry. Can I ask one question
Please,
before we move on?
Yes.
I guess sorry. Yes, so I'm sorry. This is not exactly about the abstract needs, But just before this, you've actually mentioned how empathic communication is like connection and equality to give voluntarily, right? So I thought it's really nice. It's a good point. I often get questioned all the time because people coming from different cultures, they're brought up certain way. You know, there are people that keep things to themselves. And there are people like me, what's in the heart is in my lips, you know. But there are people, you know, they grew up this way, you know, they keep things in their heart. And you know, the sort of actions are a bit different, right? But however, I often get asked all the time that what if, like, I mean, how sensitive can a person go? Like, how intimate can you be, or how can I put it together? Like, how can you voluntarily give? You know, like should a person see the situation or the person they're dealing to, you know, to open up, or they should look at their needs and then they just open up because is their needs disregard of others or situation, or thinking about the consequences or how they feel afterwards. I don't know if I framed it correctly.
Maybe I try to reflect, and then you please correct me if I understood you correctly or not.
Lack of sleep, yes. Being a tiring day, but oh, sorry, yeah.
Like I'm happy that you made it back home, and good to see you. What I heard you asking is that people are wondering how much they could open their hearts, especially those people who are maybe not used to show their hearts, and that may feel kind of vulnerable. And should one do it in each and every situation? Was that the question?
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Should they discriminate? Should they, like, you know, our Shastras teaches us to, there's a healthy discrimination as well, Kunti prayers and all that, as we know. So I usually tell my Shastra way to everybody. But then again, I just wanted to hear from the angle of empathic communication and needs, desires, and opening up, giving voluntarily. Your thoughts on that? Thank you.
And giving voluntarily, yes, that was also part of your question. When to give voluntarily and when not, right? From the heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a way, how I understand it, it's very simple. According to your needs, right?
Right.
And needs are really like a guiding light in our lives. Because, for example, let's bring very simple example. I feel hungry, right? And as I mentioned, feelings are messengers. This feeling of hunger is a messenger, important messenger for me to survive and thrive. So what is the need behind that feeling? I feel hungry. I need what?
You need food, eat, nourishment.
We need nourishment, right? And this need, most of us, we recognize and take care, hopefully very nicely. Sometimes we ignore it, maybe when other needs are more important, right? Because needs usually don't come one after one. They sometimes come in the bunches. And then there is a balancing act, how to balance and figure out in which order to take care of them, or maybe to put some of them on the waiting shelf, or, you know, it's the balancing part. Or when I'm feeling thirsty, again, that's quite clear need. These are the basic needs to sustain our body. And we are making our choices according to these needs, right? I feel hungry, I take care of my need for nourishment. I feel thirsty, I take an action to satisfy that need, right? I feel sometimes really desire to give from the heart. Like I felt very anxious before this session. I was really so anxious that almost edge of crying. And I was like wondering, what is this feeling telling me? I just couldn't understand myself. So I took a pause and was breathing and checking myself, what is actually going on? What is my need? And I realized that, oh, I have such a strong need to contribute to others' well-being, that I was so in anxiety. Am I really able to do it? So it's all about getting to know ourselves.
Oh, you are great. You don't have to have the anxiety. That's ours. You know,
Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement.
Yeah, so Radhika Mataji, so I see where you're going, and thank you very much. It's actually an excellent answer as well. I really appreciate that. Can I ask a follow-up question on that?
Please.
It's just, yeah, thank you. So the other thing, you know, the needs of the need. Sometimes we think, okay, this is my need. Like you talked about personal needs. So personal needs is something that we have to attend to it, right? Like, you know, if you feel hungry, yeah, you go eat. If you're sleepy, take rest. Things like that, right? So personal needs. And then there are sometimes needs or there's urges, you know, to say or do things, and you feel it's appropriate to do it at that time and space. Then again, we see more cultural thing of Krishna conscious culture as well comes in, and then we feel like, you know, sometimes actually we think that you better be quiet even though there's a need for that time, but then sometimes we feel again there's no need to actually express that need, you know. So so I was thinking, you know,
can I reflect back?
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
I so far understand that you are asking the difference between needs and urges. Is that correct? That sometimes
actually, I don't know why I brought urges in there, because I was trying to understand my own question, you know. So, but basically it's about needs and needs. Sometimes I feel like there is a need, but then we think there another need is more important than that. Some people might think, okay, this is your personal need. For many people, they're very personal. They're like, you know, their needs has to be met. And there are other people who are more subtler, quieter type, are more, I don't want to use the word humble, but they more like, you know, they would put others' need before their needs. So, so would you say, being a person yourself, would you have to choose or you should choose to put your needs before others' needs? Or because there are people that would say, okay, you know, having others, they will think I'm doing things for others. Maybe probably applies more like a Mataji's intuition thing, right? Than more Prabhuji's. You always put others, you put others' needs before yours.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Sometimes, you know, we always have this thing, you know, and I always see that often.
I got your question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
So it's again the balancing act, right? And the needs are all personal. There is no non-personal needs. Needs are all personal. And for example, if I have a, maybe I say it this way, that if I have space enough in my heart, that I have been given enough to myself, then usually I have space enough in my heart to give to others, right? But when our own needs have been starving long time, we may not have that space in our heart to give to others. And then when we still choose to give, either consciously or unconsciously, about needs, then we are giving from the place which is already depleted. And this kind of giving is having usually quite tragic long-term consequences. Like for example, it's probably very rare example, but some mothers usually are really giving, even when they put on their own needs on the shelves, they have still this mother Shakti to still give, right? But it's again our motivation behind giving. Is it really voluntary pure giving? Or is it giving with hope that when they grow up, then they give back, right? So if we are giving from the energy of some hopes to get something back with some expectations, then this kind of giving has strings on it. And people usually sense it. People are very sensitive. And from that energy giving, first, it has high cost for the one who is giving, but also it has high cost for those who are receiving. Right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And this is actually not voluntary giving. even though we may think that we may have some hidden motivation, right? Makes sense?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It was well answered. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for nice questions. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Hare
Correction?
Krishna.
Yes, please.
May I say, like, because Jaya Radhika Mother talking about like you put some people put their other people's needs before their needs.
Mhm.
So like you were mentioned like a mother. So I'm thinking, just like I'm a mother, just like sometimes I have at the same time I have multiple needs. It's just like maybe at that time I think a different person choose the like a priority, like which is more important for me at this moment. Like just right now, if I'm really tired, I don't want to cook, so I need a rest. But at the same time, my children are really hungry and she really needed my attention. She really need the food. So then at the same time, another needs come out actually in front of me. Okay, should I take a rest? Or I need to fulfill another need, care of my children. And that's another need. So I think maybe in this time, I think everybody actually nighttime they made a choice which is more important for their needs.
Yeah.
So
Raising it.
I won't, as a mother, I was thinking I'm not really that great. I put my children's needs in front of me, but actually I think if I think about what are you talking about, the needs is not actually be the person. So I think actually by that time I choose the needs, which is also fulfill my needs, which I think the needs is more important for like take care of my children is more important than myself as a rest.
Yeah.
But then maybe after the other time, I was thinking, oh, after this, I can take a rest. So, but maybe for another person, she will choose like, oh, this moment for me, take rest more important than take care of my children.
Yeah.
I think everybody at that time just they make a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Please go ahead.
Is this understand correct?
Yeah, what I hear you saying that the different people are having different choices, different preferences, like you described that when mother is tired and children are hungry at the same time, some mother may have a capacity to put the tiredness and need of rest aside for a little while. That cannot last forever, right? And to take care of this need to feed their children, to take care, to contribute their children's well-being. Another mother may be in circumstance where her need for tiredness, for rest is so urgent, then she chooses to take care of this need and find the other ways to take care of children needs. Maybe call the neighbor or ask the husband or give them some ready-made thing, right? The point is that when we get really connected to the needs and to everyone's needs, my needs and children needs, then it opens up this creative field to find really creative solutions that help to take care as much needs as possible at the moment. But it is the act of balance very often. And another comment that touches Jaya Radhika's point also, it's according to time, place, circumstances. Yes, like healthy. What did you get? Healthy discerning, right? What is? But it requires this really awareness of needs. What are my needs? And needs under needs, and skillfully balancing. It's like this circus person who is keeping many balls in the air, right? Air. It's the same thing with needs. How many balls we can keep in the air at the same time? The more we are practicing connection with our needs, awareness of needs, the more we get the space to balance the needs that come at the same time. Does it make sense?
Yeah. But I also have a question. Is what you were talking like needs are not connected to a person. So for this one, out like just example, like we need a love, right? And it's a different type of a love. Just like we have 5 months, like a different relationship with the Lord Krishna, and in our life we also have we need different type of love.
Yes.
And so the person, like example, like if I don't get the love from my parents, like we all know, if a child not being loved by their parents when they were, since they were born or when they were young, that actually affect their whole life. Even the psychologists, and you went to see psychologists and they tell you the same thing. So even my child, and she went to see the psychology, and the psychology sometimes, oh, this is related, you should talk to your mom. And even the psychology recommended my children, you should tell your mom to go to see psychologist, you know. So it seems like you see, oh, some thing is affected is your parents' behavior or some fact. So, but especially for myself also, like feel like if you
Excuse me, I'm losing you. Could you make a short recap? What are you wanting to comment or ask?
You were mentioned like the needs are not connected to any person.
Yes.
So just like everybody needs love, especially from parents' love, and short parents' love, and so, which is possible you can get back, right? And then,
right. So is your point that you are saying that parents' love or mother's love is like irreplaceable?
Yeah, it's not replaceable, or is also can replace.
So your question is if the mother's love is irreplaceable, or is it possible to replace? Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
Needs is not person, but like sometimes I have the love from other people. They just I need the love, like feel short love from parents. So
yep,
it's and so.
Yeah, I would maybe bring such an example from my own life that, for example, I don't remember, I have wonderful mom and wonderful dad, but I don't remember from my childhood any, how to say, physical acts where that I would call like a strategy for fulfilling the need of love, right? And at some point in my life, I was in my, I don't know, 20s, 30s, I had very kind of teenager-like relationship with my mother. I was arguing with her, and I was always wanting to be smarter than her. And, you know, I couldn't stand to be together with her more than 3 days. Then it became a little clashy. And then when I started to practice NVC, nonviolent communication, and I started to reflect on my needs and on my mother's needs. And when my capacity to connect with needs was growing, it suddenly struck me that the things that my mother did, for example, I was grown up and she was still telling me, put warm clothes on and do this like that and do that like that. And it suddenly struck me that actually it wasn't that my mother didn't give me love, but that was her way, her strategy, how to convey the love, right? But my way, my how to say, my input was not the same shape that her output. But when I realized that was, she did her best to express her love, but I wasn't able to understand, let's call it her language of love, yeah, right? So my point is that it's so much also depending from us capacity to receive love, even maybe when people express it in a way that it's hard for us to understand that this is the expression of love, right? And my point that I want to make with this is that it's still that the need for love is still not connected to any person. It's because not all children, for example, in the world have a mom. Some children's moms have left their bodies while giving birth, right? Or some children's moms have left their bodies later or in whatever reasons. So the need for love is still there, right? And if the person, the child gets stuck that this is the only way for me to get love, but this is gone forever, then what, right? So there are other strategies which may be not the most favorite strategies, right? Not the most ideal strategies, but still there are other strategies also. Does that make sense?
So you need a strategy to fulfill your needs.
Yeah, strategy means the way or the action that we do or the words, or, you know, like strategy for nourishing the body could be eating pizza or eating dal or eating, different things. So strategies are multiple varieties in this planet. Krishna has provided unlimited strategies to take care of needs. Just we human beings have created such a society where we are discouraged even to feel our feelings, right? I don't know how is it in your side of the world, but in this side of the world, I don't remember from my childhood that I've been encouraged to express my feelings. When I was crying, I was told, if you don't stop, then I give you a reason for crying, right? Nobody asked me, oh, you're crying, you're probably having some need, right? And we are kind of dulled and disconnected from our nature to be living, loving beings, to have feelings and needs. And when we are dulled, then we are very easy to manipulate, doing things that others want us to do, right? So it's dangerous. And then we are also, easy to manipulate to do things which are horrifying to other people or to Mother Nature, because we don't take our personal responsibility. It's called even Amtssprache in German. There was one research about these Nazi officers. They were asked after Second World War that how come you could do these horrible things? Was it difficult for you? And the answer was no, it was not difficult, because we had a special language. The language was, I did it because my boss said me to do. And when we are disconnected from our nature, our sensitive, loving hearts, our free choice, then we are easy to be turned to monsters, right? Because the boss said, it's not my responsibility. But when we start to take responsibility for our feelings, which is a huge thing and huge paradigm shift for many people, including myself, because, for example, my habitual way to express my needs was that I feel angry because my husband came late from the office, right? So it's his fault, not my responsibility that I'm angry. But in nonviolent communication, or empathic communication, we are learning that the cause of our feelings is not outside of us. What is outside of us is trigger, it's like something that triggers feelings. Like when my husband comes late from the office, it triggers disappointment, anger, different feelings in me. But if I would put the blame on him, how likely it is that I'm getting what I'm needing? Not too likely, yeah? Rather it becomes worse, because who wants to be blamed or shouted or whatever, right? But
Not me.
Yes, there is a proof. And we also, again, we give away the power to enrich ourselves and others' lives when we put the responsibility outside of ourselves. Because can we change other persons? My good husband, can I change you? I've tried in the beginning, but it doesn't work, right?
It's impossible.
Yeah, I tried to change my children until I realized, oh, I cannot change even my children. When one evening my child came home later than I wanted, and I started to nag on her, and she said, why should I tell you honestly where I was when you still start nagging? And that just kind of ring the bell for me. Oh, yeah, she also has needs, and need for respect is there even for children, right? Need for trust, etc. So it's huge paradigm shift to start to see where are actually the roots of our feelings, not outside. We cannot change whether sun shines or doesn't shine, but the roots are our needs. So if instead of blaming or shouting on my husband, I noticed that, oh, I'm really irritated when he comes home later than I expect or hope or want. So what is actually my need? My need is for association, for connection, for example. And then when I'm getting clear about my needs, this choice widens in front of me. Instead of being consumed in anger and waiting and being more and more angry, right? I could choose another ways. And that also, by opening my own heart and connecting my needs, it helps me to see that he also has needs, why he chooses to come later than whatever. How is that to hear? Any questions, confusions, comments, corrections, stories?
Just a quick question. I wanted to know the difference between empathic communication and non-violent communication. Is there any difference, or they're the same?
I would say there is no much difference. The process is the same. There are same steps, same 4 steps, same 2 tracks. Just I feel that thanks to His Holiness Pure Krishna Maharaj to adapting to the devotee community, it really helps me to see that it is fully applicable even for devotees, because devotees are also human beings, right? Even though we sometimes forget about that. Devotees also have needs. Even we sometimes deny them and want to be already, I don't know, Paramahamsas or whoever. I am not, you mostly are, but still we have needs on different degrees, right? And I really suggest to read, I will show you, Pure Krishna Maharaj's wonderful book, Realizing Our Compassionate Empathic Nature Connected to Krishna. Maharaj is bringing, for example, quote that, let's see if I remember it, that even spiritual people have needs, and we cannot progress on the way of spirituality unless our material needs are taken care of. First things first, right? We still have our bodies, gross bodies needs to take care for gross bodies. We have subtle bodies, there needs to take care for subtle bodies, and only then we can, in a balanced way, progress in our spiritual path. Does that answer your question? Yeah, so I would say that using this nonviolent communication in devotee context gives us actually even bigger perspective and adds a little more depth to the nonviolent communication. That's how I see it. More perspective than in the frames of one lifetime, for example, and like that. Are there any other comments, questions? Maybe then it's time to do. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. The needs we're talking about here, needs. Sometimes we have a habit, which is daily habit, which is not devotional, and we are happy to do that all the time, like it's becomes our need. So how to get rid of these habits? It's like not a devotional habit. It is like your mind is away from Krishna. Like you sometimes worship whole day like that, and you feel okay, let me do some watch some movies, Bollywood movies, then this becomes a habit. So it's a habit, but it's also becomes like a need too, and we have to do this need, but this is not right. But we are in the habit of doing so for many years, so it becomes like a need. So how do you get rid of this need, which is a habit, which is a bad habit?
Thank you. Beautiful question. I remember Guru Krishna Maharaj answering one similar question in this Bhagavad Gita study classes. And Maharaj's answer is needs. Dig into your needs. Because as you say, Sumuk Prabhu, when we do something years and years, it feels like a need, but it's still habit, right? It may be just very deep habit. And it's very easy to slip into habit because the track is so well walked in, right? But help like I bring another example from a non-devotee person's life. In one seminar, nonviolent communication seminars, there was a person who was smoking, who has been smoking decades, cigarettes, and he didn't want it anymore. He understood it ruins his health, and people around doesn't like the smell, etc. But he was not able to skip it. It was just so deep habit. And actually, the one trick is, the more we want to push something away, the more it pushes back. It's not possible to do the don't. Krishna Maharaj also says, right? It's not possible to do the don't. And Maharaj brings example that if he will tell us, don't think about pink elephant taking shower, we will all start think about pink elephant taking shower, right? So
Yes.
one point is don't say to you, don't, you cannot do don't. Or because we all one of the strong needs is the need for autonomy, right? To choose our own actions. And inside ourselves, we are also having many sides. One side we can call chooser, who chooses to do this old habit. And the other side we can call, for example, like inner educator, who says, this is bad, don't do it, blah, 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 blah. And then there is inner conflict between these two sides, right? And it doesn't help. There is just tension, conflict. This part wants to do because I want to do what I want to do, right? This one is blah, 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 blah. So to help it is first to stop saying don't, but to try to dig down actually, what are the needs of this part which wants to do it, right? We like divide into, maybe I will introduce you to two personalities in a moment. To dig, one can divide the paper into two, for example, right? And write down what are the needs of my inner part, which one chooses to watch these movies. And it's good to do it many times because needs are in the layers. And the deeper into the layers we become, the more spaciousness for change it creates in ourselves. And also not ignore this other side, who is kind of like inner teacher or inner educator saying, this is not good, this is not good. This side also have needs. Need to take care of my well-being, and to write down also all the layers of needs of this side, without wanting to change either side. And then when you really get to the bottom needs, we could call them like core needs, then there is again opening this spectrum of strategies that meets both sides' needs. And there's inner peace and more happy choices. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Janananda Prabhu. You want to comment?
Yeah, a few comments to all the messages here. It's fun for Prabhu to cook. So I would advise all of you to teach your children and your husband to cook. It is very funny to do it once in a while, and the children love it.
Thank you. Yes, my husband is cooking every Sunday, our home Sunday feast, and he just loves it. And that meets my need for rest and relaxation on Sunday, so it works wonderfully. I wanted to introduce you some personalities. Let's have some fun. Hare Krishna. This is Jackal. In some languages, they call it wolf, and maybe some of you who have been little around NVC trainings, you have met this person. And wolf is symbolizing in this context our side, which has like wolf or jackal language. Jackal is very short-sighted and has sharp teeth and wants to bite. Jackal likes to criticize, demand, judge people. You are wrong, you are right, you are stupid, you are smart. Jackal is doing actually all these things that are our mind's operations, if I'm correct, right? Mind is accepting, rejecting, and like into polarities, judging, comparing, demanding, denying responsibility. This is all this, what the jackal represents. But there is a heart here behind all this jackal language, and we can in the future refer to this kind of language as a jackal language. And when you notice that you are criticizing or judging or demanding, talking this jackal language, your inner jackal has woken up, then the worst thing to do is to criticize or put the more shoots on this jackal, that I shouldn't criticize, I shouldn't demand, I shouldn't, because then we are putting the critics on top of critics, and it creates more inner confusion and mess. But to remember that this jackal also has needs, and behind every judgment there are needs. And Marshall Rosenberg, creator of nonviolent communication, says that judgments are nothing else than tragic expression of unmet needs. And if we remember that, then we maybe remember to be compassionate and look behind the jackal messages in ourselves and in other people. And if we become skillful in this, seeing the needs behind these jackal messages, then there will not exist any critics anymore for us. We just see the people who have this poor strategy how to express their unmet needs. That's one side, jackal. But we have another side also, another part. This is giraffe. And giraffe is representing empathic language. Giraffe is in connection with feelings and needs. And giraffes have very long neck, right? So giraffes are seeing things in much longer perspective. And giraffes also have the biggest heart amongst the land mammals, if I remember correctly. So giraffes are naturally connected to their heart. They are speaking feelings and needs language, right? So we can then do our inner dialogues with help of these two animals, because it's easy to solve things when they are only inside our heads, right? But when we put them into paper or use this symbols representing our inner jackal and inner giraffe, then it's much easier to work through these things. So I find them very helpful in real life as well as in our trainings. And I also know that Krishna Maharaj doesn't really like these animals, and not animals, but he says he cannot really relate to those. So it's up to you whether you like to use these symbols or not. I just wanted to introduce this both helpers to you. All right, let's maybe go.
Can I request you to repeat that statement when you just said judgments are nothing else but something of unmet needs? What was that word?
Judgments are tragical expression of unmet needs. Tragic expression, okay, thank you. Unmet needs. It's just poor way. We don't know any other language, right? When we observe ourselves, what do we do? Outwardly, inwardly, we judge, we criticize, we compare, we demand, we deny responsibility. It's a jackal language. We have been living, most of us at least, so long in the jackal land.
You say criticism is nothing but tragic expression of needs not met, or judgment is nothing but the tragic expression of needs not met? Is it criticism or is it judgment? You say?
Both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But let's do a little exercise now. Also, I've been talking so much that maybe you have need also for stretching your empathy muscles and practicing a little bit. We will do it again in this small Zoom rooms, and I will give instruction right now and also try to post it in your group so that you remember. Let's try to practice identifying the cause of our feelings and distinguishing it from the trigger, right? So the purpose of this exercise is to learn to recognize feelings, to identify stimulus or the cause, and to learn connect the feelings to needs. And the instruction shortly is that I invite, you will be in the groups of 2 again. I guess we are 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, I cannot count. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Maybe one group will be, yeah, one person can be with me, I guess. So first task is describe shortly a situation in the recent past where you recognize some feeling, that you felt something sad, disappointed, whatever, some kind of unpleasant feeling. Try to name the feeling, identify the feeling, and identify the trigger. What was the trigger that triggered this feeling? Someone said something or someone did something, right? And then identify the cause of the feeling. What was actually your need that this feeling wanted to give you a sign about? And I post this instruction on your small group also, so you can see it. All right. And there will be timing, like about 3 minutes for each person, and then I will send a notice when it's about to come back to big rooms. So I try to divide, open all rooms. Let's see how it happens now. Right. Oh. Okay, and I guess Shane Prabhu, you are here with me, and all others are 2, 2. Okay. Yeah. All right. So
All of us were in the same room, Mataji.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try again. Something went wrong. So we try again.
Just room.
I'm in the room. But...
Yeah. So it takes few more seconds to come back. So then we will make another try. Okay. Breakout rooms. What went wrong? Let's see. Yes, that's correct. You were all in room 1. Wasn't that fun? It's like behind the teacher, one can do some
It was fun because when we saw our partners from the previous exercise, we were like, wow, same people. But then we saw others also coming in. It was like,
yes, I apologize for that. I guess
no, it was really funny. We just had a nice laugh. Please don't apologize.
Okay, good. That's okay, let me try again. So and a room. That's interesting. It doesn't give me choices. Okay, room 2, room 3, room 4. How many rooms we need? Who can calculate?
6.
Thank you. 6 rooms.
Yeah.
Let's try again. Open our all rooms. Ta-da! Let's see what happens now.
How do I get out?
So, still not working. Oh my God. Okay, I can move you by hand, I guess. It's very strange. Room 2.
Back again.
Yeah. Okay, that's something really strange. Let me try to move you by hand.
Must be Zoom thing, maybe.
Okay. I am doing it manually. I'm trying to do now. Doesn't allow me to do. Room 3. Room 3 has 2. Okay. Next one. Room 4. Room 4, right. Room 5. Room 5. All right. And room 6. And room 6. So is it now going on? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. So what's going on here? I guess we are 3, right? Three, 2, 2. So unassigned 0, 1, 2 has 2, 3 has 2, 4 has 2, 5 has 2, 6 has 2. Okay, let's join that room.
Oh, we are 4.
It's really strange what's happening here today. Very strange. Jagatarini.
You know, yeah, so as a oh, Mataji joined us too.
I'm just checking if it works and I go out.
Yeah, okay, good. So with my word, Sumika probably went first, so it's my turn now. So so the feeling of being scared of not trying to achieve my work. But then again, also like my need of work is always taken care of anyway, because it's always like it done, so somehow I get the time to do it and all that in my own time. But then there's and at the same time trying to meet my needs of my temple devotional service as well. So sometimes in between there's a feeling of being there's a scare comes in, that I'm actually scared about, okay, what if I'm questions before I want to do it in my own time, but then again, what if I get questioned on it or something like that, so it's just a feeling of there's a being scared, but then again, I know my need is to do my work as well as temple devotion. But then again, what I do is to balance it, trying to find, but then that feeling is there. I think it's actually a recent thing, so I thought I'd bring this up. It might probably cleanse me, get out of my system too. So yeah. But somehow things gets done anyway, but yeah, but we have some time, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, especially like this big project that I have to do, there's so many clients waiting.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm just checking the rooms.
Oh,
Yeah, and I guess I ended up now in right place, because it's really strange thing going on with this Zoom rooms today. So it's a weird mess. But just let me see how the others are. Are they all? I cannot understand what it shows me here, that still someone is alone, and when there are 3, there is 1. very, very strange. 2, 2, 2. And you have been alone since
Was with your Jananda and Jagatarini. We were 3 in the room.
okay.
So then I became this room. So I joined this room.
Okay. So you could join yourself? Or no?
I just like, yeah, I can't join myself. I just like, because I got the message, I've been invited to this room. That's why I joined. I'm now here.
Okay. That's how it goes. Oh my God. Okay. So maybe we can do also a little bit about this practice. Even though I'm completely, yeah, I'm completely confused. I just see like if Janananda is alone in the room, or it's very confusing. It shows me differently than it actually is. It shows that I am in room with you and Jagatarini Mataji, but not. Yeah, okay. We just go on and then we see what happens. So yes, the task was to describe shortly a situation where you felt recognize some different feeling. Do you have some situation in your mind?
Like being and feel what do you call that? Neglected. Like especially when my children was like the trigger, or my husband, like a trigger is like when they say, oh, you always do this, or you always like don't understand me, or this kind of stuff. Put like you always something I gotta really or like you don't understand me, or you don't support me, you always don't support me. And then I would just get really like immediately just like try to offend, I would just like defend again. I disagree. It's not. So I would start talking like, what did I do this? I did do this. I did do this. How could you say I'm always? So I think, if it's identify the needs behind it, is like I need to be appreciation.
Yeah. What about the feeling? I would go back to feeling maybe when you hear your husband saying that you always this or you always that, or what is the feeling?
Sad.
Feeling
angry.
Welcome to Mataji.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sorry, I think we joined back. Me and Jananda Prabhu was together, so we completed. We forgot what was the third question. We only remember 2 of the questions.
Okay, I will give you third question. Third question was identify the cause of the feeling, which is your need. Okay, and now I wonder if, I guess you cannot get back yourself, so I have to move you back. Move to room 2, but now Janananda Prabhu has left. Okay, I put him also room 2. Okay, I guess now it works. Yeah, you said you're feeling sad, right? So the trigger was this something that your husband said, right?
Yeah, all my children said.
Or your children, yes. And we are making distinction that this is not the cause of our feeling, but this is trigger, right?
Yeah.
And the cause of the feelings would be a need. What would, if you take one of specific sentence, that kind of sentence, to work one specific sentence at a time to find the need.
Appreciation.
Appreciation. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's the main thing. Appreciation and the respect.
Yeah. Could it be also being seen in what you are doing or how you are contributing to their lives?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I think being recognized and reinsurance.
Yeah, just one moment. I will stop.
Reassurance.
Would you say something more about
reassurance? Like, yeah, just what do you say? Like saying what I have been done. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I guess maybe we go back. Today has been such a messy this room thing. I see that Jagatarini Devi and Tanananda Prabhu, they have left their groups, and I'm worried where are they lost in internet. So, thank you for your sharing. And let's go back. It's really confusing today. Oh my God, this has been
We are all back.
really strange this time.
Sorry, we came back manually because we were thinking it's a bit long. It was a bit longer, like compared to previous time, because we got manually. We manually came out, but last time it was automatic. We got timed out.
Yes.
But this time we came out manually. Yeah.
Yes, and that confused me because I joined later. I tried to figure out things, and then I joined later with Jaya Radha Mataji.
Okay.
In her group, and we started our practice later. And then at the same time, with one eye, I started to see that this person not joined this person out. So I got worried that you get lost in the internet. So that was kind of weird. Anyway, this is the technology. And any feedback about the exercise? Anything you experienced, learned? Any questions? And we are actually over of our time, so I wonder, for those who are really who need to leave, please take care of your needs. I just like to get the short feedback, and maybe five more minutes. Anybody would like to share about this this practice? Welcome.
It was a wonderful.
Yes, please.
It was really wonderful, Mataji. It was really nice. That few minutes we have, our situations were the same. I was with Nimai Pandit Prabhu, and our situations were pretty much the same. Both of us got frustrated at certain situation. And at the end of the discussion, we saw that Nimai Pandit Prabhu actually verbalized that my reaction needed respect of my space and my time. So very nice exercise where we could actually practice the need analysis of why we acted, how we acted. It was very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Maybe one more comment. Welcome, Nalini Khan Prabhu. Good to see that you also made it.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, and everyone. Please accept my apologies to join late. Although I was late, but Suchandra Prabhu helped me towards the actual question, and we tried to recognize what the need and the cause for that frustrating situation, and we actually worked out the solution also.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Suchandra Prabhu, for doing the job. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share about exercise, or are there any left questions from today's session? Comments?
Can I ask something?
Please.
Yeah, is it whether I'm understanding it correctly? Suppose if we do not pay attention to our needs, and then feelings will be disturbed, and as a result, the coping mechanism will be wrong, and that's why we struggle, is it?
Do you mean by coping mechanism that then we are react and put energy outside instead of finding the course of feelings inside? Is that what you mean by coping mechanism?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe I repeat that yes, many of us may have this habitual pattern of I don't know if you were here when I introduced this animal jackal, to speak a jackal. You
yes,
were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we may have in our habit to speak a jackal language, right? We feel something and we put the blame outside. We are taught to believe that the course of our feelings is outside, that other people or circumstances or whatever is causing our feelings, right? And then we naturally put our energy outside to change and fix things outside, right? But when we learn that what is outside is just a trigger, and the course of our feelings is actually our needs, it's inside, then we can put our energy inside and figure out what are our needs. And I would say 99% probably find out more healthy and compassionate ways to take care not only of our needs, but also of others' needs. Does it make sense?
Thank you, Mataji.
Can I quickly ask one quick question, if we have time?
Please.
We understand that if I'm hungry, I'm feeling hungry, so my need is food. But what about overeating?
Yeah.
What is the need behind overeating?
It's again the same thing to ask myself. I'm already full, I'm satisfied. That means my need for nourishment is taken care of, right? So what are the other needs under this? What are hiding there? Yeah, and I was about to talk a story about this person who was smoking, right? And he couldn't get rid of this by, criticizing himself and whatever. And when he went this road and he started to dig the needs under what were actually the course why he was choosing the smoking, then he came down to the need for association. And he said that it struck himself also, that he said that he was struck when he figured out that the core needs was the need for association. And he said, because this cigarette is always with me, whenever I'm in trouble or when in whatever situation I am, I have it. It never betrays me. It's always there. So it was his way to take care of his need for association or support, or, behind or under this initial need, like eating, or I don't remember what was his initial need for smoking, maybe, I don't know, calming down, I don't remember, but he was surprised, and others also, what was actually in the bottom. And similar process is about overeating. When I feel I'm full, I'm satisfied, I'm nourished, my body has got enough, but there are some other needs that we haven't been able to pay attention to. And our habit is probably because unmet needs doesn't disappear. The energy is still there. It keeps pushing us, and it keeps creating feelings, right? It keeps creating so-called unpleasant feelings, which are actually healthy signs that, hello, the needs are not met. Like a oil lamp in the car's this dashboard. When oil lamp starts to blinking, it's kind of annoying, right? Again, I have to go and fill it. So I better cover it. But what happens then with car, right? Sooner or later, the motor burns or whatever happens with car. It's the same with our system. Needs doesn't disappear. They just, create more tension, more discomfort, more, they are still there. And eating helps maybe just to numb these feelings that are giving the signs. So help may be that I don't give in this, excuse me. I don't give in to this urge to, because that's also need to not to feel unpleasant feelings, to have need for pleasure or whatever. So I maybe could stretch a little bit myself, my muscles, and try to look what happens if I don't take this additional bite or additional plate, to just to stretch our ability to stay with uncomfortable feelings and to see what they are wanting to tell, to see the needs behind, and to take like tiny steps at a time, to be also gentle with ourselves, compassionate with ourselves. Does that make sense? That could be with any old habit that actually doesn't serve us anymore, but we don't know what to do about it. Needs. It's all about the needs. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your patience and for your tolerance and for all this mess with these rooms and for your good humor. I try to learn more about these rooms and what happens and what doesn't happen and what's the power of the one who puts others to rooms, and to educate.
May I interrupt? Please don't worry about anything. I personally am enjoying every bit of it, and I really don't want it to finish, honestly. Sumukha Prabhu wants to say something though.
Yes, please.
I think this conversation get recorded. Where can I find this record?
Thank you for asking that. Earlier recordings I've been putting in our website, compassiondrops.org. I will send it to you. So if anybody doesn't object, then I will put it up there. But at any time when we are recording and someone feels that I don't want this recording to be public, then please tell it to us at the end. So then I will not put it on the website. I just send personal links. All right.
Are our breakout rooms also recorded? No.
I don't know. I have to watch the video first myself.
It was recorded.
I guess they are not, because how can it record it?
No.
I will check.
Nah, my daughter said
our one was recorded up till like, and then it says recording stopped. So I know it was recorded. Yeah. So Sumukha, me and Sumukha were in a room. So here and all. So his was all recorded. As soon as I started, and then he said recording stopped. So I actually thought the meeting room stopped or something. We have to go. So yeah.
Okay, I will check it out how it was. And let's now check out ourselves, like we started with check in and now we check out again with needs. Try to connect with your needs. I would be very curious for the sake of connection and also for the sake of my learning, to hear your needs that have been met, but also your needs that have not been met with this session. Shortly, few words. Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna, I have to leave.
Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes. Anybody want? Please go on.
Every session for me is a learning point, and I'm taking heaps from it. So I am really thankful.
Thank you, Mataji. Next one, who would like to say? Please. Yeah, please.
Okay. Regarding the needs, like I was saying, the habits, the needs, because of some bad habit need, I ignore the need which is required for me to do. So from this session, I understand that those bad habit needs has to come down, and the good needs which I am ignoring at the moment, I have to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I go next, please? Yeah, so I just wanted to say that from this session, it helps me go deep introspectively, you know, more like self-realization sort of thing. Like I can go more deeper in my own time. It's just because, you know, having this busy time and doing so many things in parallel, multitasking with work and, you know, our Krishna conscious services and all that, long hours both sides, personal life, so many things. You think as much as a dovetail, but there's so many things, right? So oftentimes we forget our own needs as well, because like, especially me, I'm always rushing, trying to finish one thing, I have to go to another thing. It's always impromptu stuff's coming in, you know, people always trying to find me, reach me, you know, things like that, and so many things to attend to. And my personality is like that. I don't like leaving people waiting for me, or, you know, unfinished business thing and all that. So I have realized that I need to focus on my needs more introspectively, prioritize my things. As much as I think I'm doing it, although I need to revisit it and then putting myself in there. Instead of thinking about others more and their needs, I have to think about, because, you know, this is the whole reason why I might get always drained out.
Yes.
So I have seen, yeah. And another thing from Sumik is I've learned today about the need. Sometimes we get derailed into something because we have this Krishna consciousness mentality that there's certain things is that we are, like he was mentioning, I think movies, he start watching or something, right? And then because he's needy, he believes that you know, watching movies, not, you know, being derailed, sort of, you know, being Krishna conscious person and all that. And then there's a need to it and all that. And then I was reflecting on it. Yeah, there are certain things that we started doing it when we think that I think Padma Mataji, I'm sorry, she was also saying at the beginning, I'm sorry Mataji, we have Radha Padma Shri Mataji, so many Radha Padmas and Padma Shri, so sorry. And at the beginning of the session she mentioned something really good. I was driving and coming out of the car, if I heard it properly, skip my mind, sorry, I forgot. But then the thing is about the need is that anyhow, I just missed the whole plot. But the thing is, like, you know, I need to introspectively look into myself, prioritize my own needs, and seeing the need that really, like you actually mentioned today about, you know, having the gaps in there, like, you know, whether, so I have to address that. Am I really draining out? Am I meeting my own needs? And this will actually help me progress in my own Krishna consciousness as well. So all of these I was thinking, and it's not that something that I haven't been addressing on. I knew this is something from way back I needed to address to myself. But then again, you know, having this session now is a golden opportunity, great opportunity, being with the person, talking it through, going through, understanding it more deeper. And it just helps me going through and then learning it more about myself. And it helps actually, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. It was,
and I want to say thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. It was way more than 3 words.
Oh, really? Actually, when you said, you know, I missed the whole question as well, because that's when I'm using my speaker and he actually died on me. So I missed the whole question. I just started hearing from everybody else. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, and please accept my humble obeisance and my gratitude for taking time to join these sessions. And hope to see you next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.